On November 9, 2025, as the first light of dawn painted the Sydney Opera House in hues of rose and gold, and the harbour lay still like a held breath between broadcasts, Australia awoke to a silence deeper than any commercial break. The passing of John Laws, the Golden Tonsils, whose velvet baritone had been the nation's morning companion, political conscience, and occasional provocateur for 7 remarkable decades. At 90, in the quiet sanctuary of his Woolloomooloo penthouse overlooking the very waters that once carried his voice to every corner of the continent, John slipped away peacefully, surrounded by the family he had woven into the fabric of his extraordinary life. His children's statement was tender yet devastating. Today marks a very difficult day for our family, with the news that our beloved father, grandfather, and uncle John Laws has died peacefully at home. Pneumonia had hospitalized him weeks earlier. The slow, graceful fade of age had finally dimmed the microphone that once commanded 2.5 million listeners every sunrise. Born Richard John Sinclair Laws on August 8, 1935, in the remote, steamy outpost of Wau, Papua New Guinea, to Australian trade store parents Harry and Laura, John grew up amid tropical downpours, tribal drums, and the sharp scent of copra, learning the art of conversation long before he ever touched a transmitter. At 18 he cracked the airwaves at 3BO Bendigo. By 22 he ruled Sydney's 2UE with a voice that could soothe a grieving widow or skewer a prime minister with equal finesse. In 1976 he met Caroline at Luna Park's Tunnel of Love, and for 43 years she was his princess, co-host, and quiet anchor, blending 9 children into one raucous, loving clan that filled their harborside homes with laughter, debates, and Sunday roasts. Her 2020 death from ovarian cancer carved a canyon in his heart, yet he broadcast on until 2024, signing off with a whisper that broke the nation. From $1 million to UE deals to cash for comments, storms, from CBE honors to Valvoline's Immortal. You know what I mean. John shaped talkback radio, public opinion, and the very rhythm of Australian mornings. His $50 million fortune funded a Harbour View penthouse, cancer charities, and family trusts. Tributes from Paul Keating, broadcaster of the century, and callers who found solace in his voice during bushfires, floods, and personal tragedies poured in like morning light. This is John Laws. Cause of death: age-related decline following pneumonia. Age 90, wife Caroline, d. 2020, 9 children, many grandchildren. $50 million earned from airwave empire. Lifestyle of silver Mercedes cruises, harbor sunsets, and gin with grandkids. Biography from New Guinea boy to national narrator. His legacy murmurs: speak truth, love fiercely, sign off softly. John's childhood was a tropical adventure novel written in sweat and storytelling. Wow's corrugated iron trade stores, Harry's nightly haggling lessons over kerosene lamps, Laura's lullabies under mosquito nets that taught him timing, tone, and the power of a well-placed pause. Family holidays meant prawns on the grill, New Guinea yarns spun around campfires, and the distant thump of tribal drums that would later echo in the cadence of his on-air rhythm. The Laws clan was small but mighty. John the eldest, his younger siblings his first audience, learning early that a good story could silence a room or start a riot. When the family returned to Australia in the late 1940s, Sydney's concrete jungle felt both foreign and fertile. Harry took a job in hospitality. Laura kept the home fires burning, and young John discovered school radio, where his voice first crackled across the ether and teachers predicted greatness. In 1957 he married Shirley, a union of youthful passion that produced 2 sons before dissolving amicably. The boys remained his pride, their school concerts his first live audiences. Then, in 1976, fate, or perhaps a mischievous Cupid, sent Caroline crashing into his life at Luna Park. She was a widow with children of her own, he was radio's rising star. Their first date was a ferry ride across the harbor. Their wedding a quiet affair that blossomed into 43 years of merged families, shared microphones, and Sunday roasts where 9 children learned to argue politics before dessert. Caroline became his co-host in life, whispering cues during commercial breaks, editing his rants with a raised eyebrow, and anchoring him through scandals and triumphs. Her 2020 death from ovarian cancer was the only story John ever struggled to narrate. He spoke of her on air with a tremor that silenced the switchboard, then dedicated every subsequent show to "My Princess." Even in his 80s, family was his final frequency. Grandchildren climbing into his lap during broadcasts, sons texting jokes before the 5:30 a.m. alarm, Caroline's photo on every desk a silent producer. Now, with his children's grief a shared silence and the grandchildren's tears a soft static, their loss aches like a frequency gone dark, a reminder that family isn't the studio's roar, it's the hand that steadies you when the red light fades. John Laws's biography broadcasts like a 7-decade symphony. Each movement a new station, a new scandal, a new sunrise. His 1953 debut at 3BO was raw and regional. By 1957 he was Sydney's 2UE morning king, pioneering talkback when most stations feared listener phones. The 1960s crowned him with "Laws on the Line," a confessional booth where housewives vented and premiers squirmed. The 1970s brought $1 million deals, 2GB's ratings reign, and the birth of the "Golden Tonsils" moniker. The 1980s saw 2.5 million daily listeners, OB honors, and the first whispers of cash for comments. The 1999 scandal fined him $150,000 for undisclosed sponsorships, yet he returned stronger, his 2007 retirement a tearful $11.6 million farewell. In 2011 he stormed back to 2SM, proving 76 was just a number. In 2024 he signed off for good, voice cracking as he thanked you, the listeners, for letting me into your kitchens. CBE, Commercial Radio Hall of Fame, Australian Media Hall of Fame, Valvoline's "You Know What I Mean" iconic. Lifestyle. Harbour penthouse with panoramic views, silver Mercedes gliding along the coastal roads, Tim Tams shared with grandkids on the balcony. Valvoline voiceovers that still echo in service stations nationwide, cancer advocacy after Caroline's battle. Net worth $50 million, penthouse $10 million, media trusts, family funds, quiet gifts to ovarian cancer research. John Laws's life was a golden broadcast, from tropical whispers to Sydney's silken airwaves, family his foundation, voice his fortune. At 90, Times Tide pens a poignant ballad. His 9 children carry the call, their sorrow our shared spotlight. If John's golden tale stirred you, subscribe for more timeless voices. Like to let his light linger, it honors the broadcaster in us all. Thank you, cue a classic, hug your cast, and let the conversation never end.